the next phase of learning. We have all had our eyes open, or most of the people who would look at any video I have had our eyes open by the Creator to the truth. And we have done, we started as babies and started learning the Torah and the Bible in the correct manner. And we're all still babies in learning. Very much babies in learning. And, how many of us even speak Hebrew so that we can really have a full and good understanding? There aren't many of us. And there's so much that we are missing. Now again, we are able to see and talk to the Creator each day as we read the Torah, so we get an understanding of Him, and reading through the Bible to get more depth. But the Messiah is coming, and He's coming soon. And one of the titles that the Messiah holds is teacher. And imagine for a moment the difference that you had in learning from when you were 3 years old to where you're 7 years old. Because at 7, you went to school, you've learned to read. You started doing math. You started an actual study. Your eyes have been opened a little bit. And that's kind of how I see us. Right now, we're, best way of saying it, slowly learning and grasping. And even though some of us are learning faster than others, still it's slow. When the Messiah is around, He can teach us more in just a few hours than we can get in years the way we're going, because He's going to speak truth. And He has a much greater understanding than anything that we have. And so, we've learned this little level here. And I think when He comes, He'll get very quickly, everybody, okay, you're going to be up to here. And then it's okay. And think about as He opens up that next layer of sight to us and opens up the depth of meaning of the Torah, that next level type of an issue. And that's why I say repeatedly, we are such a blessed generation, because we're going to have a teacher around. And it's not just like what He did before when He was around, where He taught the disciples and gave the disciples insight, and then was speaking to regular people in parables. Because I think He's going to start teaching us and giving us that insight, and maybe giving the people outside some parables to bring them in. But the amount of growth we're about ready to do is amazing. And, how many different levels is He going to pull us and bring us up to? And again, there's a lot more to the Torah than we know, or we even are capable of knowing right now. And, just like when our eyes are opened, that huge depth from wow, this is totally different than what I was taught before. They're so vast. Imagine when the teacher comes, of how far from where we are now to where we can be almost immediately. I mean, imagine being in a class with the teacher for 8 hours. Imagine what you could learn in 8 hours. I mean, especially if we have, kind of studied at that point in time the Torah, and He's going to then be able to, He doesn't have to say, okay, this verse, He can actually say, let me show you what this could also mean. And it's like, wow, the teacher has just revealed this. And very shortly, and again, it's my belief that the 144,000, because they're first fruits, they're going to be at Mount Sinai first, for about 30 some odd days with the Messiah they're teaching. and giving them the leaders, certainly at least the leaders, which will be another 70, maybe 72 of that group, will get tremendous amount of learning very quickly. And, you know, while we're on the Exodus, the Messiah is still in spirit form. If his presence is too powerful, unless he gives us a part of the Spirit to be around him, we can't even be around that. So those leaders who are able to hear him, who can be around, you know, I used to always, so many people used to say, I can't wait to sit at the feet of the Messiah. Well, yeah, but the Messiah is too powerful, at least during the Exodus, for most of us to be around. I can't wait to be around the feet of those leaders who are, it's not that I'm worshiping the leaders by any stretch of the imagination, but the leaders will have information from the Messiah, who I want to hear from, and from the Creator, who I want to hear from. So I want to hear from them as they say, these are things that are going on. And that is the, you know, let's assume for a moment that you're in the 144,000 and you're there at Mount Sinai, but it's the leaders who are really getting the close instruction. And it's really a hard thing, because you're like, do I sit and beg them to tell me what's going on? But if I beg them to tell me what's going on, they're not back up there getting more teaching. The more teaching they get, when they come back to see us, the more they can tell us. And, you know, I'm not going to be in that group of the 72. So but again, I certainly want to hear what they have to say. I mean, I want that teaching from you know, as close as we can get to the actual Messiah, and that additional learning. Wow. Now again, all that is just going to be a precursor, because once we get to the kingdom, the Messiah is here, and we're able to be in his presence at that point. And so we're able to be taught and really brought up fast. So again, it's school's about ready to begin for us, real school for us, and an amazing time.